Tell me why you are running.
Well, when I was elected in 2018, it was the first time in over 20 years that an educator has been elected to lead the Department of Education. I started my career as a preschool teacher, then worked in special education as a speech-language pathologist in our public schools. And so I'm very passionate about continuing the work to be an advocate on behalf of our public schools, fighting on behalf of our teachers and students and families to ensure that our public schools are well-resourced and well-funded so that our students have every opportunity for success.
We talked to quite a few voters who, still mentioned that Arizona is still at the bottom for education. How would you, moving forward, if you were to be elected again, how would you bring Arizona out of that?
Even with the new funding that was allocated this past spring, it takes time for our schools to be able to really put that into action and to see the impact of that funding towards our teachers' salaries, and for it will take years to truly see the impact as we start to build back from that recession.
Sounds like almost every week since school started, we've heard about school threats or a report of a gun on campus. What would you do to help improve school safety?
When I started in 2019, the school safety grant program, which I operate in the department, it was only a $12 million program, and this program provides school safety positions, including school counselors, social workers, and student resource officers. And we have been able to work with the legislature in a bipartisan way to increase that program. But we know that there's not one solution. There's also not one size fits all. And our schools are having to choose between these positions rather than having the resources to have exactly what they need. Do they need multiple school counselors? Is it a school community that wants a school officer at their door? And so we want to make sure that it's not a which one do you want, it's what do you need, and making sure we're providing the resources and the tools to keep our children safe in schools.
Teacher pay and retaining teachers. I know you started the Arizona residency program. How would you continue to, evolve that and help retain and find teachers in Arizona?
I was very proud to be able to launch with NAU and the Arizona K-12 Center the first Arizona Teacher Residency Program. This is creating a new pipeline for teachers in our schools, and there is a plan to scale that up to more districts in the coming years, and then to also expand to rural parts of the state. But currently the first cohort is in partnership with 3 local Phoenix elementary school districts. Another way we've been supporting our teachers is through teacher mentoring and also different types of teacher trainings, because we know having teachers who feel well supported and have the training opportunities they need to be most successful in the classroom, that's really important for our teacher retention. Teacher pay is still a significant issue for our teachers, knowing that we're not competitive with our neighboring states, and knowing that the 20 by 2020 plan was a couple years ago now, and that has been fully implemented. So now that we're going into 2023, my question to our legislature and our future governor is, what is the plan going forward to ensure that Arizona has a plan to keep building up to support our teachers in the classroom? So I will continue to be advocating for that type of additional funding from our legislature.
Your opponent likes to talk a lot about critical race theory. It's one of the biggest things on his website and on his campaign posters. What do you want to say about what's happening in our schools?
Critical race theory, or CRT, is not being taught in Arizona schools. I've again traveled the state visiting our classrooms. Our students the teachers are following our Arizona state standards and learning about history and civics and learning about racial issues in a way that is learning empathy, learning about people who come from a different background. It's not about teaching shame. It's about learning about our history, learning about the issues like slavery and the history of our Native American people to be able to teach the next generation and to ensure that there's not the same mistakes made in the future. So I continue to advocate for these types of lessons to be historically accurate and culturally relevant. But ultimately, when it comes to my opponent, Mr. Horne, focusing on critical race theory, to me, that shows that he's really out of touch with the priorities of Arizona voters. Because when I am traveling the state and talking with parents, the questions I'm hearing are about our teachers and what are we doing to ensure that we have a strong workforce in educating our kids. They want to know, why is our state not funding preschool programs or full day kindergarten? Because there's such a demand from our young families to ensure that our youngest learners have a safe place to